also. So gene expression is also becoming increasingly more important to our customers, and we'll just say generally to people today, especially those who understand that healthy gene expression can be compromised by our lifestyles.
I think I'm going to take that because I'm currently the National Cardiology Director for a company whose only business is measuring gene expression. And this is a Silicon Valley company. So I've become more familiar actually with this very important concept. And let me first mention that there's a fundamental difference between what you hear about commonly with genomics, people's genes. In general, when you think about genetic tests, whether they're tests for breast cancer susceptibility or Alzheimer's susceptibility, these are looking at the future risk. And this is, you're born with this, and it's immutable. So think about most genetic tests as something that gives you the tendency or depicts the tendency or susceptibility to future diseases. Gene expression is a snapshot currently of how your genes behave. When we talk about behavior, it means what do they express? They express proteins in the form of messenger RNA. And this drives how we respond to inflammation, how we respond to stresses. And what you want is an environment where the right genes that can express proteins to protect us are maximized, and we call that upregulated. They are driven to express these protective proteins, and we suppress those genes that could be turned on that do damaging things. So what we now know is that micronutrients, and the ones that we selected, maximize those genes' expression of protective beneficial proteins in the form of messenger RNA and suppress or downregulate those genes that potentially could express proteins and messenger RNA that could harm us. So I think that's the overview and what probably needs to be known about this.
Thank you. Forgive me maybe a tangential question about this too. To what extent does gene expression influence, say, premature aging? Or maybe I'm asking that in the reverse order. Is premature aging influenced by that? And is there something we can do about it?
You want to answer?
Yeah, that's a very perceptive question. Actually, the short answer is yes. It's a complicated way to get there, but it is true that if you are in an environment where the wrong genes are expressed, you have a progression not only of aging, but you have a progression of many other debilitating conditions, and some of which may in fact lead to diseases. So if you can change that environment as we would with MMF, and you can have a favorable gene expression profile, you actually abrogate or slow that process down. And that's what, of course, we see in many of the studies that we've done. Quite an exciting area, and I think over the next several years we'll learn exactly which genes we can turn on and off and what doses do it maximally. But it's a very exciting sort of a window to the future, and why we know we're on the right track with MMF.
Thank you. Thank you for that answer.